Okay, welcome back. Let's get into this deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty interesting, how private security professionals actually decide how to respond in different situations, from a simple interaction right up to a serious threat.
Yeah, it's a crucial area. We've pulled from a couple of key sources here. One gives us that policy backbone, the use of force continuum based on ISIS international materials. They're a big global standard setter for security pros.
Right, framework people.
Exactly. And the other
Yeah.
source, it's more grounded, a look at a specific company, Reliable Security Plus, down in Houston, Texas, and their particular philosophy.
So the goal here is, well, to understand that structured approach, how security escalates responses, but also how does a company's own core beliefs shape how they actually do that?
What's the thinking behind the actions beyond just the rules? And what's really fascinating is that this idea, this use of force continuum, it's pretty much standard practice for professional security outfits. It's not just a guideline, it's policy. It dictates the appropriate level of force for whatever the officer is facing. Designed like a ladder, essentially.
Okay, so it's about being proportional, staying within the law. ACIS lays out 5 common levels, right?
That's right, 5 levels. And it starts really simply. Officer presence, just the basic level. A uniformed officer, looking professional, being visible. A lot of the time, just seeing them there, looking calm and capable, can stop something before it starts, or at least de-escalate it.
Kind of like prevention, just by showing up and looking the part.
Right.
Okay, but what if that's not enough?
Then you move to verbalization, using your words. Starts calm, polite, can I see some ID, please?
Hmm.
If that doesn't work, it can get firmer, more direct commands, maybe louder, like a clear stop.
Right, so talking first, then talking tougher if needed. What if words aren't cutting it, or things get physical?
That takes you to empty hand control. So physical techniques, but no weapons involved. Things like guiding someone out, using holds to restrain them, or defensive moves to block and control.
Using hands-on methods, basically, without any gear.
Yeah.
And if that's not enough, or the threat level jumps up.
Then we're into non-lethal force. This means using specific tools designed to control someone without causing serious, lasting harm. ACIS mentions things like tasers, maybe batons, pepper spray tools in that category.
Got it. Tools meant to subdue safely. And the final step, the top of the ladder.
That's lethal force, absolute last resort, highest level, reserved for those really extreme situations like an imminent threat of death or serious injury to the officer or someone else. Think active shooter scenarios. Huge legal and policy controls around this, obviously.
Yeah, you'd expect that. And this is where linking policy to practice gets interesting. ACIS really emphasizes communication and training on this continuum. Officers have to know exactly when and how to use each level. Lawfully, appropriately.
Which perfectly sets up the question, how does a company like Reliable Security Plus take this framework and, build their daily operations around it?
Right, this Houston company, they work everywhere from apartment buildings to protecting executives. And their philosophy, they call it customer service-oriented protection.
Which is a really interesting mix, isn't it? It suggests security isn't just reacting, climbing that force ladder, it's also proactive, tied into being helpful, professional, providing a good service experience, really, combining surveillance, crisis response, with how the officer actually interacts.
Yeah, I like that focus on how they interact.
Yeah.
Their mission statement mentions restoring safety, sure, but also doing their duty with a smile. It's not about being soft. It sounds like it's about using professionalism and positive interactions as the first tools hitting those lower levels, presence and verbalization, effectively.
Exactly. And they plan to achieve that with exceptionally trained, well-groomed, and reliable officers. Their vision mentions partnering up, too, with local law enforcement and community leaders.
Partnership is actually one of their core values. They use an acronym, DIPP.
DRPP. Okay, what's that?
Diversity, reliability, integrity, professionalism, and partnership.
I see.
You see how reliability and professionalism directly feed into that customer service-oriented protection idea, and how it makes officer presence stronger. It's not just a uniform, it's the person wearing it.
Right. It's the whole package.
So what does this all boil down to for you, the listener? It shows that good private security is, well, more complex than just hiring a guard. There's a clear policy like the use of force continuum for handling escalation, but ideally, it's grounded in something more proactive, professionalism, reliability, even customer service.
The company's values and training really shape how well that continuum works, maybe even stopping things from escalating in the first place.
It seems the best approach balances clear rules for when force is needed, with a culture that really pushes de-escalation, professionalism, and serving the client or community first, trying to resolve things at the lowest possible level.
Absolutely. It really does.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on. How might the specific place security is working, say, a busy mall versus a quiet office block, or like the source mentioned, a residential building versus protecting a VIP? How might that change how a team actually trains for and uses these steps, even with the same basic continuum?